Do this exactly as instructed right now. Hold your dominant hand out in front of you. Open your fingers as wide as they can possibly go. Now, close your hand into a fist. I want you to squeeze that fist. Do not just close it, crush it. Squeeze it as if your life entirely depends on shattering a rock inside your palm. Squeeze it until your knuckles turn completely white. Squeeze it until your fingernails dig into your skin. Keep squeezing. Do not let go. Hold that absolute, maximum tension and listen to me very carefully. Pay absolute, hyper-focused attention to what is happening inside your forearm right now. You have only been holding this maximum tension for 10 seconds, but feel the intense, burning fatigue already creeping into the microscopic muscles of your hand. Feel the deep, aching strain radiating up through your wrist and into your elbow. Notice the slight, involuntary tremor. Notice how your hand is literally beginning to shake. Most importantly, notice how your brain is already sending you an overwhelming, desperate signal to let go. Your central nervous system is panicking. Your forearm is completely exhausted after 15 seconds of static tension. You can let go now. Look at your open, tired hand. Notice how fragile your grip actually is. You think that burning fatigue is normal. You think a weak grip is just a minor, irrelevant inconvenience of getting older. You think the only consequence of losing your grip strength is that you might have to ask someone else to open a stubborn jar of pickles for you, or that your hands might get tired carrying a heavy grocery bag from the car to the kitchen. You think your hands are completely disconnected from the health of your vital organs. You are entirely, catastrophically wrong. You are not just losing your ability to hold a jar. You are losing the structural integrity of your central nervous system. The weakness you just felt in your forearm is a blaring, biological alarm siren warning you of systemic, cardiovascular failure. And right now, across 4 distinct layers of neurology, cardiovascular hemodynamics, and the brutal military logistics of the ancient Roman Empire, I am going to show you exactly why your hands are the greatest predictor of your lifespan, and how carrying a heavy load like a Roman can save your heart. Layer 1 is the absolute, terrifying medical reality of your grip. For decades, cardiologists believed that the best way to predict if a patient was going to die of a heart attack was to measure their systolic blood pressure. But in 2015, a massive global medical study called the PURE Study, Prospective Urban-Rural Epidemiology, was published in the Lancet Asterisk. They tracked the health of 140,000 adults across 17 different countries for over 4 years. The results completely shattered the medical consensus. They found that a simple test of grip strength, squeezing a digital dynamometer with your hand, was a significantly more accurate predictor of cardiovascular death and all-cause mortality than measuring blood pressure. Every time a person's grip strength dropped by just 5 kilograms, their risk of dying from a heart attack, a stroke, or any other cause skyrocketed by 16%. Your grip is not just a measure of your hand. It is the ultimate, undeniable biological proxy for your physiological age. It is the canary in the coal mine. When your grip begins to disappear, your structural resilience is actively failing. Layer 2 is neurology. Why does the hand predict the heart? Because human grip strength is not actually generated by the muscles in your forearm. It is generated by your central nervous system, CNS. When you squeeze your hand as hard as you can, you are demanding a massive, high-voltage electrical signal to travel from your brain, down your spinal cord, through your brachial plexus, and into the microscopic motor units of your fingers. To generate that massive electrical charge, your entire body must be neurologically intact. Your core must brace. Your heart must pump harder to supply blood to the forearms. Your vascular system must respond to the sudden, extreme demand for oxygen. Grip strength is an all-systems check. It tests the sheer electrical voltage of your nervous system and the hydraulic integrity of your cardiovascular system simultaneously. When you lose your grip, it means the electrical wiring of your central nervous system is degrading. The voltage is dropping. The muscles are experiencing sarcopenia, age-related muscle wasting. Your heart and your brain are literally losing their connection to your extremities. To understand how wildly we have deviated from the biological design of the human hand, you have to look at the daily reality of the ancient world. Look at the Roman legionary. When we think of a Roman soldier marching 20 miles a day, we focus on their legs. But the true brutality of the Roman march was what they were forced to do with their hands. A legionary did not carry his gear in an ergonomic padded backpack. He carried a sarcopenia, a massive 60 to 80-pound bundle of rations, cooking pots, and survival gear tied to a wooden pole, the furca. He carried this pole over his shoulder, gripping the wood tightly with his right hand for hours on end to keep the heavy load stabilized. In his left hand, he carried the scutum, the Roman shield. The scutum was massive. It weighed roughly 22 pounds, and it did not strap to the forearm like a medieval shield. It was held entirely by a single, horizontal wooden grip handle directly behind the iron boss. Think about the biomechanics of that march. The Roman legionary spent 5 hours a day gripping a heavy wooden pole in his right hand to balance 80 pounds of gear, while his left hand was locked in a brutal, white-knuckle grip holding a 22-pound shield. Their hands were under relentless, endless, agonizing isometric tension. Their forearms were massive. Their central nervous systems were continuously bathed in high-voltage electrical demands. Their hearts pumped violently to supply blood against the static resistance of their hands. They did not lose their grip. Their grip was the foundation of their survival. Now look at the profound, devastating laziness of modern society. We invented the wheel, and we put it on absolutely everything to save our hands. We put wheels on our suitcases so we never have to carry them through an airport. We invented power steering so we never have to fight the resistance of a steering wheel. We invented grocery delivery so we never have to carry heavy bags from the store to the kitchen. We engineered all of the heavy, awkward, isometric tension out of our daily lives. We allowed our hands to go numb. We stopped demanding electrical voltage from our central nervous system. We stopped forcing our hearts to pump against the static resistance of a heavy load. And because we stopped demanding the voltage, the body stopped producing it. The central nervous system degraded. The forearm muscles atrophied. The heart grew weak because it was never challenged by the peripheral resistance of the hands. We traded our biological resilience for a rolling suitcase. We traded our lifespan for convenience. And now, millions of seniors are failing the grip test in their doctor's office, entirely unaware that their heart is failing because they stopped carrying heavy things. Layer 3 is vascular conditioning. How do we reverse the damage? How do we rebuild the electrical voltage and protect the heart? We have to replicate the Roman march. In modern strength and conditioning, this is called the farmer's carry or the loaded carry. It is the act of picking up 2 heavy objects, one in each hand, and simply walking with them. When you pick up a heavy load and hold it, you are subjecting your forearms to deep isometric tension. The muscle is contracting violently, but it is not changing length. When a muscle contracts isometrically, it physically squeezes the blood vessels inside the arm. This creates massive peripheral resistance. Your heart instantly detects this resistance, and it is forced to pump harder and more efficiently to drive blood into the squeezed vessels. This is the ultimate natural cardiovascular stress test. It trains your heart to overcome vascular resistance. It trains your blood vessels to dilate and become more elastic. It forces your central nervous system to fire a massive sustained electrical signal to your hands, rebuilding the degraded neurological pathways. You are not just building forearm muscles. You are armor-plating your central nervous system and conditioning your heart. We must calibrate the science. I want you to know exactly how firmly established these mechanisms are in the medical literature, so you understand this is not just a fitness trend. The predictive power of grip strength for all-cause mortality, cardiovascular disease, and neurological decline is the absolute, undisputed conclusion of the Lancet pure study and decades of gerontology research. The physiological response to isometric tension, specifically the increase in peripheral vascular resistance and the subsequent conditioning of the cardiovascular system, is textbook hemodynamics. The profound neurological demand required to sustain a heavy grip, and the connection between grip failure and central nervous system degradation, is foundational neuromuscular science. And the historical reality of the Roman scutum and Sarcina the brutal, daily requirement of heavy, sustained carrying, is established archaeological and military fact. The neurology is real, the cardiology is real, the historical precedent is absolute. Now, look down at your hands and recognize the sheer magnitude of the biological machinery you have allowed to go dormant, and exactly what happens when you wake it back up. Think about the degraded voltage. Think about the weak, unconditioned heart. Think about the rolling suitcase that robbed you of your tension. Imagine what happens tomorrow when you change the protocol. You do not need to go to a gym. You pick up two heavy objects, 2 heavy dumbbells, 2 jugs of water, or 2 heavy bags of sand. You grip them as hard as you possibly can. You crush the handles. You stand perfectly tall, brace your core, and you walk. You walk for 60 seconds. The isometric tension instantly locks your forearms. The high-voltage electrical signal rockets down your spinal cord, violently waking up your central nervous system. The peripheral resistance builds in your arms. Your heart instantly responds, pumping a massive, healthy surge of blood to overcome the resistance, conditioning the cardiac muscle. Your posture straightens, your core stabilizes, your neurological pathways are flooded with electricity. Neurological recruitment, vascular conditioning, systemic resilience. 3 profound, intense, life-saving biological mechanisms running perfectly, simultaneously, cascading into one another to rebuild the grip, the heart, and the central nervous system of the aging human machine. And all it requires is for you to stop rolling your luggage and start carrying the weight. Look at your hands. They are not just tools for opening jars. They are the diagnostic dashboard for your entire cardiovascular system. Tomorrow morning, find something heavy, pick it up. Do not put it down until your forearms burn and your heart pounds. Stop treating your hands like fragile accessories. Stop relying on wheels, handles, and automatic doors to save you from the friction of the world. Demand the voltage, condition the heart, carry the load. Grip like a Roman.